If you saw the title of this video and you're like, what are ebook arcs? What does that mean? Why would I want to create them? All right, let's really quick say the why before we get into it, because number one, this is how I send books out to reviewers as advanced reader copies or advanced review copies, aka arcs, as an ebook arc. And this is also the way that I do free copies of my book as like a giveaway presents, giveaway prizes. This is also the way that I send books to like my CP. This is a way that I send books to myself on my own Kindle, well, my Kindle app, because I don't own a Kindle, but I have the app on my phone. This is the way that you could send it to literally anybody who has a Kindle app in some way, shape, or form, whether on their computer, their phone, or an actual Kindle, and they could read your book for free. You can literally send it to anybody. Probably not your grandma though. Yeah, well maybe, you never know. Grandma might have a Kindle. Before we get into it, I should just say that the ebook arc is kind of a misleading title because an arc is like before it's released, but you could do this after a release too, like honestly, anytime you want. You could send your book 10 years after you wrote it. It doesn't matter. The point is just a digital copy of your book. So there is a lot of steps that go into this and it might feel a little bit complicated, but honestly it's not that hard. There's about 4 steps which I will just cover really quickly and then I will show you and I will walk you through each step. The first step is to create a mobi file. That's M-O-B-I file, not movi or anything like that, which is what I thought it was. And that's just a certain type of file that will help you send it to Kindle directly. There's 2 different ways that I know how to do this. I'm sure there's probably more out there, but I will walk you through in a second those 2 specific ways that you can get your book, like a Word version of it usually, or whatever version you have, I don't know what else there is, into a mobi file specifically. Step 2 is to get a person's Kindle email, and you do have to have a Kindle email, guys. You cannot send me your Yahoo email or your Gmail email or whatever else the heck is out there. They don't work. I'll show you in a second how exactly you can find your Kindle email. It's not hard to do, and if you follow all the steps in my ebook arc sign up, which by the way is linked below, you will know how to do that. It's super easy. I'll just say straight out, because I mentioned my ebook arc sign up, that anybody who does not follow this step simply does not get an ebook because it won't send to you. And then the third step is also absolutely required for the book to actually reach you in your Kindle, and that is to add the person sending the book to you as an approved sender. So Kindle doesn't just let anybody send you a book, guys. They are, you know, protecting your privacy. So unless you approve the person sending you the book, the very specific email that they're going to send it to you from, you won't get it. So again, everybody who signed up for an ebook arc of The Stolen Kingdom below in the little sign up, if they didn't actually add me as an approved sender, the specific email address that I gave them, it doesn't matter if I send it out, they won't get it. I hope that makes sense. And then the 4th step is just to send the email, to send that mobi file to the Kindle address that they gave you from your approved email address. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that made sense. All right, that's the big picture overview of the 4 steps, but now I'm gonna take you on over to my computer and actually show you. All right, so the first step is again creating a mobi file. And so this is really a 2-parter, because the first thing you need to do is make sure your book is formatted correctly, and then you'll go through creating the correct kind of file. So this is my paperback, but I've saved it as the ebook. And so I'm just going to do some quick formatting and show you what you don't want. So in a paperback you want like title pages and such, but in an ebook you don't. So the first thing that I'm going to do is turn on my paragraphs, and I'm going to get rid of certain pages. So pop this one up to be the very first page. I'm going to get rid of my title page here. All right, so I deleted the title pages. The next thing you'll want to do is keep in mind that anything spread out over 2 pages is not going to look that way, because typically on a Kindle you only see 1 page at a time. So I'm going to have to also fix my map. All right, so I inserted my map. I'm going to actually just, let's see here. I think I'm going to try to turn it. We're going to find out if this works, because it's been a long time since I've done this. To make it movable, you will go into wrap text and pick, I believe, any of these options is fine. So I just put in front of text, and then you're able to move it around. So I'm going to make it reach the top and bottom and just fit the page like that. That looks a little funny, so potentially I might not include the map in the ebook, but we're going to test this out for the video and I will show you what it looks like. If I click the little paragraph icon at the top, I can see all these extra pages, and I'm going to delete them and start with chapter 1. I currently actually have a graphic for all of my chapter headers. That's how I wanted the paperback to look. I wanted to have this really cool swirly smoke thing to match the cover, and so I designed this in Canva. If anybody's curious, it was free and it was really fun. But now I want to put back my original, oops, so we're going to delete the picture, and then this is my original header. And there's a very important reason for doing this, because you need to have a table of contents in an ebook. I think it's a requirement on Amazon, the KDP option, and possibly everywhere. So to have a table of contents, you don't actually have to do anything. It will be created for you in both mobi file creations that I'm going to show you. But to help them create that file, they have to know where the new chapter starts. So you do have to have a chapter, and then from what I understand, you need to have it be a header. So if you need to, you can create a header simply by highlighting the text that you want to have be a header, and you can go up to the style section in a Word doc. You can right click and you can click modify, and you can create a header by fixing all of this. You can go into paragraph and you can add spacing beforehand so that it goes halfway down the page, which is the correct styling for a chapter header. If you ever, look at any fiction book, you'll notice that a chapter usually starts halfway down the page, and that's why. You can also give it a little space after so that it looks a little bit fancy. I'm going to cancel that because I'm not highlighting the correct part, but you can also make it its own unique font in a huge size and so on. I'm going to cancel out of all that because I don't actually want to make this the header, but once you have your header, you can actually, you can either copy and paste it into all the following, which is what I'm about to do, or if you already have like a font like this that says chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4, all you have to do to make it update to the correct thing is click header, and the formatting that you created will be applied like this. All right, I've got all my chapter headers fixed, and you can see all the extra pages at the back, which I'm not as worried about because those are all fine. And just so you guys know I talked about creating an actual header and using the styles up here to create a header, which is important, and it also may be important to also make sure you have page breaks to let the table of contents know. So I'm going to go up to I'm going to go to the end of chapter 1, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about. This is just your page break, and to get this so that it knows, we're done with this page, we're going to the next chapter, you'll go to layout, you'll click the breaks option, and you'll click next page, and that will add a page break automatically. And so I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can actually see here how it sends you to chapter 2. By the way, if you guys want to read the first 2 chapters, they're on my website. But the reason that I'm showing you the page break here and using this paragraph thing, which I'm going to turn off because it's very distracting. The reason that I'm showing you that is so that your table of contents will come out super clear and correct, and you won't have to worry about anything else. So now we're going to swipe over to the 2 different ways that you can create the mobi file. So the first option that I've used in the past is Calibre, and it's something you have to download. The second option is over here, Draft to Digital, which is actually a website, and it is a publishing company for self-publishing. And so I'm going to start with Calibre, so I'm going to open that up because that one's just the option I'm a little more familiar with. You're going to click Add Book, and yes, of course you do have to download it. I hope that was clear. Here is my ebook file. I labeled it pretty clearly for myself, so I'm going to click Open. So you're going to click this title, and you're going to kind of correct all the information in here. First thing is that that's the wrong cover. So I fixed the cover. I grabbed the black and white, which was in the PDF, and this cover wasn't in the PDF, but it is actually book 1. And then second, I'm going to go ahead and fix this. You can click the little arrow to automatically pop that over. And then you can also click the little arrow to pop over the author name as well, and it will sort by last name, but just click the arrows, everything will be good. This is a series, so you could put your series name if you want. Oops, can't type and talk at the same time. And it is book 1. So I've just basically updated the metadata, or metadata, however you want to say that, and then I'm going to click, actually hold on, there was one other thing I wanted to add. Grace House Press is the publisher. Oh, fun, you can even add a publishing date. I don't know that any of this is going to matter, but I just like it to look pretty, and I like it to have the correct information so that when I'm in here, I can actually see what I'm working with. And now the last step is to just convert the book to a mobi file. So you're going to go up to the top right, and you're going to find mobi. That's the file that I've been talking about that will allow you to send it to a Kindle, and you're going to click OK. Okay, that took about 30 seconds, and now the job's done, and you can see the format here, mobi. So if I click to open it, there we go. This is how you're supposed to scroll through. Whoops. So I kind of accidentally made it too huge. Sorry about that. There we go. And you can click through and make sure it actually looks good. And you, oops, see there's an extra page, and the map looks really funny. I'm going to have to work on that. But you can see how the chapter headers look beautiful and all the formatting carried through, which otherwise is not always the case, unfortunately. The way that I like to save that to my computer is I just right click it and I click Save the mobi format to the disk. And I'm going to pick a folder and save it there. And the second option is draft to digital. And I'm newer to this, but I really love how it works. And I especially love one particular feature. So as you can see, I've tested it a couple times. You just have to treat it the way that you would with any other system. So you're actually uploading it as if you would put it up for sale. All right, so I picked the ebook. And while that's going, I'm going to fill this out. Okay, I'm adding the cover file. I've added all of the details the way that you would if you were actually going to go publish, and I might actually use draft to digital for my going wide because I don't want to do just Kindle Unlimited anymore. So the unique thing to me is that they put in all this end matter. So you have the option of, I think, like adding it. This is new to me. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll through what I already had in there. And so you'll notice that it created a table of contents based on my headers. So I not only had the chapter headers, but I also had the also by in the author newsletter and the copyrights, and those things are also headers. And so is the Ginny key, my acknowledgments, my glossary. I kind of made sure that those were all formatted correctly so that they would show up in the table of contents. So if you don't have that and you want to add it after the fact, I believe you can click on these and add it, but I'm going to go ahead and save it as is. Okay, and then this is my favorite part, you guys. I absolutely adore this about draft to digital, and this is the reason that I am probably going to use it going forward, is because they actually have these cool formatting options and style options. So I'm going to flip forward. You're going to see the table of contents is automatically created for me right here. And you know, all the also by, oh, I'm going to have to fix the links possibly on some of these if they're not working. But as I click towards the first chapter, I can add different, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Different, whatever this is called, I'm losing it for a second. The formatting style for the chapter headers. So these are all super cool, but check out the sci-fi and fantasy options. This is literally perfect for my book. I love it. So I'm actually going to go with this really beautiful scroll, I think, for my book. And to get this file, all you have to do is look on the right here, and you can download it, the mobi file right there. You'll notice there's also an EPUB and a PDF option, so it's giving you different ways to also send it. Like if you wanted to send it to an iPad or a Nook, you can do that. Or if you just want to email it to somebody and you want to create a beautiful PDF, you can do that. All right, steps 2 and 3 go together, and they're extremely crucial for anybody to receive an ebook at their Kindle email. And they are entirely dependent on the person you're sending the book to. So if you want to send that person to this video and say start watching at this point in the video, go ahead and do that. The first step is getting your Kindle email address, your specific one. So you're going to write manage documents in your Kindle library. You're going to click this exact link. It's going to take you to this page, Manage Documents in your Kindle library, which it will explain to you. After you do that, click this option right here. You'll notice that I'm currently on the Devices page, and you're going to want to click over to your Preferences. Once you click over to Preferences, you're going to scroll down the page until you find your Personal Documents setting. If you are the person who's wanting to receive the book and you send an author an @Yahoo or an @Gmail or an anything other than this email right here in your Kindle email address section, you're not going to get the book. It's as simple as that. Technically, you can edit it to make this part of the email address a little prettier if you want to. You'll notice that you cannot edit the @kindle.com part. This is obviously required. If you do edit it though, sometimes it can make the author worried that it's not your actual Kindle email. So I prefer to leave it with all these weird letters. It makes it very clear that the person followed instructions and gave you the correct email address, which is very important. You cannot receive it if it's not sent to the right place. The next step, which is absolutely crucial to actually receiving your book, is to add an approved sender, which is actually right here below your Kindle email address, and you'll see it says Approved Personal Document Email List. Right here, you'll see an option that says Add a New Approved Email Address. You'll see that I have a few in here that I'm just covering so you don't see them. But once you click this, it will allow you to add the very specific email that the author has given you. So you'll notice that if you sign up for my ARC for the Stolen Kingdom, that I gave a very specific email address and I asked everybody to add me as an approved sender. So Kindle is protecting you. If you don't do this, you won't get the book because they're protecting your privacy and they don't let just anybody send to you. For example, anybody could send to this email address all day long, but I would not get it unless I have added them as an approved sender to my approved personal document email list. If you want to receive an ebook from any author or from me or even from yourself, just make sure you follow these 2 steps to copy your Kindle email address and then add your actual email address that you're going to send the book from as an approved email address. All right, step 4, and the last step to sending somebody an ebook is to actually email it to them. So you're going to go ahead and take that Kindle email that they gave you and put it in the subject or the to line. You're going to make sure the subject line is blank. You're going to make sure the body of the email is also completely blank. And you're going to attach the mobi file specifically. This is it. This is all you have to do. And when you click send, it's going to question your, logic and rationale, but you're going to say, yes, I do want to send it. And there you go. I always recommend a bonus step of sending it to your own Kindle and swiping through to make sure everything looks good before you start sending out ARC copies and that kind of thing, just to make sure everything looks good. Okay, that's all there is to it. It's not that hard, right? It's not too bad. It will get easier as you do it, and if you want, you can use this video to send to the people that you want to send an ARC to, an ebook ARC. You can just say, hey, friend, go to this number on the video, which I'll put right here somewhere, and you can just say, go to this video, click to this timestamp, and watch from here on out to figure out how to both give me your Kindle email and add me as an approved sender, because again, those honestly are the 2 hardest steps. I hope that clears it up a little bit, maybe makes your life a little bit easier. And I'm also probably going to use this from now on whenever I ask people to do ARCs, so that I can just be like, hey, it's super easy. Here's what you do. Don't go anywhere yet though, because I have one really huge announcement really quick, and that is that the Stolen Kingdom ebook ARCs are still available. I have the sign up sheet below for 1 more week. They are closing on July 31st, and then I will pick everybody that I'm sending an ARC to on August 1st and start reaching out to people on the 1st of August. So if you want to read this guy, it's an Aladdin retelling. If you want to read it before it's released, be aware that if you're signing up for an ARC ebook below, that means like ARC is advanced review copy, so it means that you're interested in reviewing it in advance. So I'm looking for people who are excited about reading this early and they are excited about helping me with reviews. I'm very excited about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I hope that you will go send out some ebook arcs, give it a shot, send one to yourself to do some practice, and I will, enjoy looking forward to hearing how it goes for you. Leave comments below if you have any questions. I am not a technology genius, so yeah, I might not know the answer, but I'll give it a shot if I do. And I hope that this works out well for you. That's all I have for you guys today, so have a great week, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!